Very good morning, children. Let us recall the points what we have done in the previous part of the classification of Animalia. So that is animals. So invertebrates and vertebrates. So in that vertebrates, all the animals are said to be multicellular and triploblastic, and true coelom is present, and we are going to observe different organs and organ systems. We are going to observe bilateral symmetry also we are going to observe. Now what are the characteristics which we observe in the vertebrates means, so they have a notochord. So a rod-like structure is present in the group of these animals. Then they have a dorsal nerve cord. Dorsal nerve cord. So from the head region to that spinal cord continuously it forms as a nerve cord. Then all animals are said to be triploblastic, and coelom is present in some of the animals. Gill pouches we can observe, and their coelomate, etc. So now we are observing about the 5 phyla in this group. First one is Pisces, then amphibians, then reptiles, apes and birds. So now let us learn the characteristics of all the organisms which come under the different groups of vertebrates. Is it clear to children? So even if they are vertebrates which have some common characters, but they differ from with each other. So now let us learn the first class, that is fish. So fish or Pisces is the first group of organisms which we are going to observe in the phylum Vertebrata. Is it clear to you? So what are the characteristics we observe in the fish? So we are recalling the points. Yes, in the previous class I completed this fish also. Or Pisces. So they have a streamlined body, and they have fins, scales and tail. Okay, so fins and the scales are going to help the organism to swim in the water. Okay, and that scales which are present, they give shiny appearance to the organisms. Then these organisms are going to breathe with the help of that what is that gills are the respiratory organs in these organisms. Is it clear to you? Then coming to the next point, they live in water. They are aquatic organisms, and they said to be cold-blooded animals. So what do we mean by with that cold-blooded animals? So the organisms who cannot maintain the body temperature constant, they are called as cold-blooded animals. Okay, then if we observe these animals, the heart of these animals will be two-chambered. One is said to be auricle and other one is a ventricle. So these are the characters which we observe in the fish. Two-chambered heart we observe. Gill respiration. Branchial heart we can observe. Okay, gills are the respiratory organs of these animals. Examples, all kinds of fish will come under this group. Is it clear to children? Then coming to the amphibians. So amphibians. So what do we mean amphibians? This group of organisms, they can live on land and in water. Is it clear to you? So amphi means both. Bians means living organisms like. So here amphibians are the group of organisms or group of vertebrates. They can live on land and they can live in water. Is it clear to children? Then, so usually the life cycle of these organisms, if we observe, so we are observing metamorphosis like which you learned in the previous class. So what did you learn in that metamorphosis? Metamorphosis. So in this you learn about the different stages in the life cycle. So life cycle of butterfly you learned, life cycle of silk moth you learned. Is it not, children? So in that, what is happening? The female is going to lay the eggs, and the eggs are going to be hatching into the larva. So larva, it undergoes so many changes and finally it resembles the adult one. Have you followed, children, what I said? So here that process is called as metamorphosis. So the larva can never resemble the adult or the parent. Is it clear to you what I said? So that process of development of egg into adult, so many changes whichever are happening in the life cycles of some of the organisms, that one we call it as a metamorphosis. So any insect if you take, you learn which you learned in 7th class, life cycle of silk moth, egg, larva, pupa and imago, like that you learned or not? So then in 8th class you learned about the life cycle of housefly, is it not? So the housefly is going to lay eggs, the eggs will hatch into larva, maggot which we call, and the larva again it develops into imago, is it not, children? Pupa, then it is going to develop into imago. Is it clear to you? So like that here different stages we are going to observe. Apart from that, the larva will never resemble the parent. So that type of development we call it as metamorphosis. So even in this group of organisms, that amphibians, the young ones are living in water and they cannot live on the land. Is it clear to children? So the larva frog, which we call it as tadpole, they can never live on the land. Is it clear to children? So they live in water. That larvae of these organisms live in water, and the young ones can live on land and in water. Is it clear to you? Like that. Then if we touch the body, frog, have you seen frog? So how it will be? The frog skin will be kept always moist and it will be slimy. Is it not? If we touch it, it moves away, because that on the skin of these animals we observe the wetness or water vapor, and along with that slimy nature we are observing. What for that it is happening means that is because of what is that, mucus glands which are present on the skin of these amphibians, with which the frog can respire when it is on land. Have you followed? When it is in water, it is going to respire through the lungs, adult one. Have you followed? So when the frogs, adult frogs, when they are in water, they respire through the lungs, whereas when they are on land, so they live usually under the rocks or in the crevices where some holes are there, wetness will be maintained, temperature difference will be there or maintained at low. So in such places only the frogs are going to live. Is it clear? So if they come out during daytime, they will die. Is it clear to children? The skin of frog should never become dry. Have you followed? So because the major respiration is going to happen through the skin only, cutaneous respiration. About that we will learn in next class. So here slimy skin we observe. So they are going to lay the eggs. All amphibians, they are going to lay eggs. The skin is slimy. Is it clear to you? Then important point, these also cannot maintain body temperature constant. So these amphibians also cannot maintain body temperature constant. So what do we call them? If they can't maintain the body temperature, cannot maintain body temperature constant. So if they cannot maintain body temperature constant, we call that group of organisms belonging to, that is a poikilothermic animals. So they are called as a poikilothermic animals. Is it clear to children? Then as earlier I explained, the adult frogs they live under the rocks and crevices of rocks, any like burrow like or they dig the earth and they are going to live in that burrows. Is it clear to you? So what for it is happening? To survive in the adverse conditions. So in this group of organisms we are going to observe hibernation as well as aestivation. Is it clear to you? Hibernation means what? Winter sleep. So to avoid the adverse conditions of cold temperatures, they never come out of the burrows during winter. And aestivation, what means summer sleep. So as it is said to be outside temperature too hot, so the organisms cannot survive, so they sleep in burrows in the summer season, so that the metabolic rate will be reduced. So that one we call it as aestivation. So most of them, these organisms are going to undergo hibernation as well as aestivation. What do you mean by hibernation? I said hibernation means winter sleep. Winter sleep means what? When do we have winter season? Usually in the month of can you tell children? So in the month of November, December, January, we feel too much of cold conditions, especially in the month of December. It will be too cold. Is it not, children? Whereas summer season, when do we observe? When you get your summer holidays. Is it not? So when do we get summer holidays in our country? So usually in Telangana state, so usually we get holidays in the month of April, May, full. Is it not? Because it is very much hot. So in the hotness, that hot temperature is not fit for these organisms to survive, and cold temperatures are also not fit. So that is the reason they undergo hibernation, which means winter sleep, and aestivation means summer sleep. Is it clear to you? So like that they withstand the adverse conditions. Then important point, what is said to be the amphibians heart if we observe. So in fish you learned that fish heart is said to be two-chambered. Like that we learned or not? Only one auricle and one ventricle is present. Whereas if we observe the amphibians, we are going to observe auricles 2 in number and only one ventricle we are going to observe. Is it clear to you? Is it clear to you? So the upper chambers are called as auricles and the lower chambers, usually lower chambers are called as ventricles, but in amphibians only one ventricle is present. Is it clear to children? The chambers of the heart are called as auricles and ventricles. So two auricles are present in the heart of amphibians, but only one ventricle is present. That is the reason the frogs are in frog the heart is able to pump the blood to the different parts of the body, which is said to be a mixed blood. Have you followed what does it mean mixed blood? It can supply the blood when it is supplying to each and every part of the body. At that time oxygen rich blood is supplied. Okay, the oxygen is taken by the cells. At the same time carbon dioxide is back to the blood and it reaches the heart. Is it clear? When they are respiring out. Is it clear to you? So that is the reason here mixed blood is going to be supplied in the frog, because here only one ventricle is there. Have you followed children what I said? So these are the points which you have to remember in the group amphibians. So amphibians are the organisms which can live on land and in water. Okay. So in that also the larval forms of or the young ones. Young ones we can't tell. Larval forms are able to survive only in water. So example I said just now, tadpole larva, it can never live on the land. It survives only in water. And the adult is going to be living on the land. That too we observe frogs now and then coming out of the rocks that are crevices only during night time or when moist temperature if it is there. Is it clear to children? So during daytime when temperature is too hot, at that time they never come out. Then they are going to reproduce by laying eggs, and the skin is kept always slimy because it is the major respiratory organ. Then they cannot maintain the body temperature constant, so they are called as poikilothermic animals. To avoid the adverse conditions here, they are going to hibernate as well as estivate. Is it clear to children? And the heart of these organisms, amphibians, is said to be 3-chambered heart. Is it clear to you? So 2 auricles and 1 ventricle. That is about the characteristics of amphibians. So now we will come to the next group of vertebrates. Okay. So the third class also we can tell. So what is that here? It is said to be Reptilia. Reptilia. So Reptilia is the third class in the vertebrata. Okay. So what are the characteristics, special characteristics which we are going to observe? So you can observe here the evolution of organisms, how it is going to happen. Fish, it lives in water. No organism belonging to that Pisces group can live on the land. It lives only in water. Whereas amphibians, they can live on land and in the water. So now here reptiles, if we take, they have dry skin. Dry skin. So have you seen snakes? Have you seen lizards? Is it clear? So wall lizards have you seen? So the skin of these organisms, if we observe, it is dry and scales are present. Scales are present. Scaly skin. So on the snake, if we observe, so we are going to observe like these structures are not, is it not? So we are going to observe, no children. So if we see this snake, so you can see the scaly body. Is it not? So even on the hood also we can observe the scales like this. So scaly body we are going to observe, scales. So what for that scales are helping? To crawl on the ground, hot ground. Is it clear to you? So scales we can observe in these organisms, Reptilia. Then coming to the next point, they are going to reproduce by laying eggs. They reproduce by laying eggs. Is it clear to you? So Reptilia group of organisms, they are going to reproduce by laying eggs. So the eggs will hatch into young ones later. Have you followed? Whereas some organisms are there which are going to give directly birth to young ones. Okay. Some Russell's viper, snakes are there which give birth to young ones directly. Is it clear to you? Then next one. So all these organisms are going to respire through the lungs only. In amphibia, we learned as they respire through mostly they respire through the skin, and when they are in water they respire through the lungs. Whereas in Pisces or fish, they respire through the gills. Gills are the respiratory organs in fish. Whereas in amphibians, skin is the major respiratory organ. Whereas in addition to that skin, they are respiring through the lungs also. Is it clear to children? But here the reptiles are going to respire through lungs. They respire through lungs. So lungs are the respiratory organs. They help in breathing. Then next one is said to be a important point. These organisms also cannot maintain body temperature constant. So they are called as a poikilothermic animals. Poikilothermic animals. They cannot maintain body temperature constant. So they are called as a poikilothermic animals. Is it clear to children? So now another important point, another interesting point with evolution wise, if you are observing here in reptiles, what we are going to see in the circulatory system means that is said to be all the organisms, they have three chambered heart only, three chambered heart, but crocodiles we are observing, so three chambered heart we can see here. Three chambered heart we are observing in almost all groups of these animals, whereas in crocodile mostly అంటారు చూడండి, that one. Crocodiles have four chambered heart. So here why I mentioned here three chambered heart I mentioned. Is it clear to you? So if we observe the diagram of that one, three chambered heart, how it will be, that point you have to remember, incompletely divided. So auricles are two auricles, totally they are divided, no doubt. Okay, two chambers separate. Whereas ventricles, if we see in that amphibians, only one ventricle you have observed. Whereas in the group of this animals, reptilia, incompletely divided four chambered heart. That point you have to remember. What is that? Incompletely divided four chambered heart. Okay, so how that will be incompletely divided four chambered heart? So now you know that here auricles are like this, two auricles and one ventricle. Two auricles and one ventricle. So we are going to observe upper two chambers auricles and lower chamber ventricle. So we call this as three chambered heart. But I mentioned in this reptilia, incompletely divided four chambered heart. So auricles already they have divided. Now which has to divide? You know that ventricle has to divide. So but here I mentioned incompletely divided. So the ventricle is divided like this only. But what is going to happen here because of this? So suppose if it is divided like this, we have to call two auricles and two ventricles. But here what happened? The ventricle is not completely divided. So that's why we are going to learn it as it is having incompletely divided ventricle. So we are mentioning here as incompletely divided four chambered heart. We are learning. Is it clear to you? So upper two chambers are called auricles and the ventricle is not completely divided, one ventricle and other ventricle like. So as it is not divided, so it is learned as a incompletely divided four chambered heart like. Is it clear to children? But crocodiles, if we take in crocodiles, what kind of heart we are observing? Means the heart, if we see, so it will be divided completely like this. So upper two chambers are called as auricles and lower two chambers are called as ventricles. Is it clear to children? So here we have valves that you will learn in higher classes. So but the heart is completely divided, and how they are separated means because of this longitudinal septum, muscle will be present, and horizontal septum is present, muscle is present, which divides the heart into four chambers. Have you followed? So completely divided four chambered heart we are going to observe in crocodile. Is it clear to you? Whereas incompletely divided four chambered heart we are observing in other group of organisms. Is it clear to children? Like alligators, you can take snakes, you can take all the organisms which come under this reptilia. Okay? So in all these chameleons, all these will come under reptilia group. Have you followed? So in this group we are going to observe like that. Have you followed what I said? Is it clear to you? That's all. That's it about the reptilia. So what are the important characters here children? The skin will be dry and the scales we can observe. They are going to reproduce by laying eggs, but Russell's vipers, they are going to give birth to young ones, I said, and they respire through the lungs. Lungs are the respiratory organs. They cannot maintain body temperature constant, so they are called as poikilothermic animals or cold-blooded animals. And three-chambered heart we are observing in all the group of organisms belonging to Reptilia, but in crocodile, four-chambered heart we are going to observe. Is it clear to children? Four-chambered heart we are going to observe. Now we will come to the next group, aves. Aves are birds. Aves are birds. So what characters we are going to observe? Are you going to observe scales in birds? No. Huh? What other characters you are observing which are not seen in reptiles? Yes, you are right. What is that? Beak you are observing. Is it not? Then how the birds can fly? They fly with the help of wings. Is it not? So we observe wings and we observe feathers and claws we can observe in the legs. Is it not? What for? To help to hold that any support or to tear the fish or any other kind of food items. Some birds are carnivores, you know that, like eagles. Is it not? Vultures, they are said to be carnivores. Is it not? So whereas other birds, they are omnivores or they are said to be herbivores, like that. It is there. Have you followed what I said? So here, what are the characteristics which we observe in the birds? Means the body is covered with the feathers. Body is covered with the feathers. Is it clear to children? Then wings are present. Two wings are there which help in flight. Flight means what? To fly high in the sky. But again here, even if they have wings, some of the birds they cannot fly. You know that. What are those birds? Means ostrich, it cannot fly high. Then whatever in your surroundings we are observing, hens, cocks, then ducks, they cannot swan, they cannot fly high. Is it clear to you? Then but other almost birds they fly high with the help of wings. Then feathers, wings are there, and we can observe beak. Beak we can observe. Is it not, children? Then claws are there. Two claws to hold that to get that support. That when they sit on the branches of trees or any other place, so they are going to hold with the help of claws only. And all the birds, they are going to reproduce by laying eggs. Laying eggs. Is it clear to you? So how do they reproduce, children? By laying eggs. So the egg will hatch into young one. Have you followed? So like that here the organisms, the characters are seen in this aves or birds. But another interesting point that is said to be, they are said to be warm-blooded animals. So cold-blooded animals means what I said you, the organisms which cannot maintain body temperature constant. So they are called as cold-blooded animals, I said. Is it not, children? So if we come to the warm-blooded animals means what? They maintain body temperature constant. Body temperature constant. So these warm-blooded animals always they maintain body temperature constant. Okay? So that's why they are called warm-blooded animals are homeothermic. Homeothermic animals. Have you followed? Homeothermic animals. And the heart is completely divided, four-chambered heart. Four-chambered heart. So that is 2 auricles and 2 ventricles we can observe. Is it clear? That is the evolution. Is it, the how the organization of life, origin of life has been started from primitive to the present day organisms. How it the development, what are the changes which happened in that structure of any organism, if we see that we learn through the evolution. So here from from birds onwards we are observing 4-chambered heart. Is it clear to children? So the body is covered with feathers, wings are seen, beak is there which help in collecting food, then 2 claws will be there to hold that support, then they reproduce by laying eggs, then warm-blooded animals, so they are called homeothermic, and 4-chambered heart we are going to observe in these animals. Have you followed? So now let us learn the all birds are examples. Any bird will come under this group. Now we come to the next class, that is last class, mammals. Mammals. Why they are called that name mammals? Okay. So if we see, you are going to learn very interesting points about mammals. Okay. In what way? All the group of mammals, if we see, why they got that name mammals, means all the group of organisms which come under mammals, they have mammary glands. Mammary glands. What do we mean by mammary glands? Milk glands. They are called as milk glands. When you are infants, you fed with your mother's milk, no children? Is it not? So mammary glands are present in all the mammals. Have you followed? So now as they contain the milk glands which help to feed the young ones. So the young ones are getting nourishment from the milk, breastfeeding. Is it clear to you? So that's why the group of organisms are called as mammals or mammals. Is it clear to you? And they are said to be air breathing, means lungs are the respiratory organs. Lungs help in respiration. No other organs are there for respiration. Then coming to the next point here, 4-chambered heart. 4-chambered heart. We are going to observe, and all the mammals, they are going to reproduce by laying. They are going to reproduce by giving birth to young ones. They give birth to young ones. But we can observe some mammals, okay, like they are which are showing the characteristics of what is that, birds as well as mammals. Is it clear to you? So which are now seen from across the world. Okay. So what are those? Means duck-billed platypus and echidna. Duck-billed platypus and echidna are the 2 mammals which have the mixed characters, okay, of what? Of birds as well as mammals. Is it clear to you? So here laying eggs is the characteristic of birds, is it not? But feeding young ones with the milk is said to be characteristic of mammals, is it not? And mammary glands are also present, that is the main characteristic which we have to observe, and lungs are the respiratory organs, is it not? So duck-billed platypus and echidna, they are going to reproduce by laying eggs, whereas other mammals, they are going to reproduce by giving birth to young ones. Is it clear to children? Then here the organisms which come under this mammals group, if we see, some live in water, then some are said to be flying mammals, they fly. Is it clear to you? Then some animals like land mammals, we belong to land mammals. Is it not? So in that also again some interesting points we are going to learn in land mammals. What are they? We can see ears, external ear pinna we can observe in the land mammals, and 4 limbs are there, 2 hands and 2 legs. All these will be observed in the land mammals. Have you followed? In land mammals, we observe external ear, which we call it as a ear pinna. Have you followed? Apart from that, we are especially erect in nature, and 4 limbs we are going to use. Okay, not human beings, other classes. 4 limbs are there. Arms we call them as 2 hands and 2 legs, like we are going to observe. So that land mammals, if we see, whatever the mammal may be, whether they are living on land or they are flying and mammals we call them, or which live in water. These are the common characters which are present. But land mammals, if we see, so again they are divided into 3 groups. So what are those 3 groups here? One is marsupials. Marsupials. So what we are going to observe in marsupials? So here care and feeding, okay, is going to be observed very much clearly, and the immature baby whichever is given birth by this group of organisms, that immature baby is developing in the sac-like structure whichever is present. Marsupium means a sac-like structure whichever is seen in the abdominal region. Have you followed what I said? Of this group of organisms. So in that marsupium or the sac-like structure, the young one is going to develop, which is not completely developed. I hope you understood. So immature baby is going to develop, or the young one is developing in the sac-like structure whichever is seen in this group of animals, which we call them as marsupials. So that is the reason that group is called as the marsupials, and the young one is fed with the mother's milk, everything, breastfeeding we can observe in that, and they are going to reproduce by giving birth to young ones only. Have you followed? And external ear can be seen, limbs are there in these animals also. So the best example is said to be kangaroo. Kangaroos are the examples of so kangaroo is the example of marsupials. Have you seen kangaroo picture? Chusara amma itla unte, so baby will be developing in the pouch whichever is present in the mother's abdomen. Chusara kada? Yes. So that one is said to be marsupials. So that is the reason that class is called marsupials, and the organisms are called as marsupials. Is it clear to you then? Now we will come to the next group of land mammals, primates. Primates. So primates means what here? Well developed hands and legs we can observe. Okay, very well developed. So with the help of hands we can work, we can hold the things. With the help of legs we can walk, we can run, like that we are going to observe. So well developed hands, fingers, feet, everything we can observe, toes, everything. Then we can judge the distance also. Easily we can identify how much distance is there, and they are very much intelligent animals. All the primates are said to be very intelligent animals. Then they live always in groups, so they want to lead their life with the families. Is it clear to you? Then they have a family bonding. Okay, parental care is much seen in this group of organisms. Is it clear to you? Even with the friends also. So that these are the characteristics of primates. Can you guess now? Who will come under these primates? Human beings. Not only human beings, other organisms also. Have you seen a cat, dog or monkeys, how they take care of their young ones? Is it not? So they care utmost of the young ones. Is it not, children? So always that young monkey is going to be how it is taken care by the mother, we can observe. And elephants, how they move in herds. Males, how they protect the females, and young ones, how they are taken care by mother. So all that we are going to observe. So here they are very much intelligent, and they are going to use hands and legs very well. Very intelligent animals. Dog, you can take. So social animals. Social means here not any subject like. So they always want to move in groups like. Is it clear to children? Then that is about the primates. Examples are said to be monkeys, human beings, other chimpanzees, apes. Okay, so other mammals all will come under this group. Then rodents. Rodents. Next group is rodents. So here primates example: man, monkey, etc. and rodents. So next group of primates of next group of land mammals is rodents. So they are said to be gnawing animal. They make sounds, no? And the incisors are very much sharp in these animals. What for? Their incisors are very much large in nature to cut the wood. To cut the wood, and they will be used as chisel. We know that carpenter will use chisel to cut the wood. Is it not? So like that they are going to live, and most of these rodents, they are feeding on the what is that young ones with milk, no doubt. Apart from that, they are going to eat the grains. చూసారు కదా ఎలుకలు పందికొక్కులు ఎట్లా మొత్తం గ్రెయిన్స్ నంతా తినేస్తుంటాయో కన్నాలు పెట్టేసేసి. ఇస్ ఇట్ నాట్? సో వుడ్, హౌ ఇట్ ఈస్ గోయింగ్ టు మేడ్ ఇన్ టు small pieces like these rodents are the group of mammals which live on land. Is it clear to children? Then marine mammals. Marine mammals. So have you seen any marine mammals, children? So they live in water, that too marine water only. Sharks will come, whales will come, dolphins will come, seal, walrus, all these sea lions, all these are examples of these mammals which live in water, marine water, and other characters are same only, like which grow and live in the water. Some only have space covering of hair. Much we cannot see in this marine animals. Okay, only some animals we can see. Is it clear to you? Like polar bears. In that we can observe, but the skin of these animals will be very much thick, which act as insulators. Is it clear to you? So like that we can observe. Marine mammals examples, children: dolphins, sea lions, walrus, seals. All these will come under marine mammals. Then flying mammals. Flying, which fly. So immediately we tell bats. Is it not? So echolocation we observe, as they do not have eyes, which come under flying mammals. So they hit the object. Then when the object is hit by the when they hit any object, then the resound will be there. With that they can able to identify the way, and they are said to be nocturnal. They move always at night time only. Is it clear to children? And they live in the roots, or they make holes in the just like tunnels are made in the trees. So stems of trees are in the branches. They are going to make holes and they are going to live in that. Have you followed? And sometimes you can observe them in any old like Golconda Fort. If we see, we can see more number of bats or not. Is it clear to you? So like that they are nocturnal. Echolocation we are going to observe. They do not have eyes, children. Then patagium is seen. So the skin is very much it is like this. So the hind limbs, the limbs are modified like that, which help in flight, children, which we call it as patagium. Patagium. Okay. So but they are not real wings. Have you followed? So they live in trees or caves, under roots, and they are nocturnal. Echolocation they are going to use. Is it clear to you? And they are going to respire through the lungs. They are going to reproduce by giving birth to young ones. The young ones will feed get the nourishment from the mother. Is it clear to you? So examples are bats. Okay, flying squirrels, lemurs, sloths. చూసారు కదా ఇప్పుడు సో స్లాత్ దట్ స్లో హౌ ఇట్ వాక్స్ ఇస్ ఇట్ క్లియర్ టు యూ సో దీస్ ఆర్ ఆల్ విల్ స్లాత్ ఈస్ నాట్ ఫ్లయింగ్ mammal బట్ other lemurs, flying squirrels, bats are the examples of this flying mammals. Is it clear to children? So this is about the what is the classification of vertebrata. So with this we have completed the diversity in living organisms. So how the classification is going to help to study in detail about the living organisms, whether they are primitive or very much smaller to the range of human beings. So we can learn about them easily because of classifying them, grouping them. Is it clear to children? So in this way the classification is helping a lot to learn about the habitat of organisms and how they are living and how do they live, how the evolution has been carried out in these organisms. All that will become easy because of classification. Thank you.